Hey, this is Math Minutes Pro with Dr. Harrison. Today, we will talk about how to use the FOIL method in order to multiply binomial expressions. So this is our main topic for the day. Again, using the FOIL method to multiply two binomial expressions. So here we are. We have the product of two binomial expressions. This is the quantity of x plus 3 multiplied by the quantity of x minus 8. Now, before we begin, what I'd like to do is spend some time talking a little bit about some key vocabulary terms. Complete definitions of these vocabulary terms are included in the description below of this video. So I mentioned the word binomial. There are three basic words that we can use to describe the terms in an expression or an equation. So first, let's start with the term monomial. Now, a monomial is a one-term expression. Just has one term. And remember, terms are separated by addition and or subtraction. A binomial is a two-term expression. It has two terms. Okay? And then a trinomial, you got it. You may have guessed it. It's an expression or an equation that has three terms. Now today we're dealing with the product, like I said, of two binomial expressions. Now the FOIL method is really an acronym, okay? And I'm going to clarify what that represents. It's an acronym that we're going to use as a guide for multiplying these two binomial expressions. So we'll first start out by saying that F stands for first, okay? O stands for outer, I stands for inner, and L stands for last. And these are referring to the order in which we're going to multiply these terms. So we're preparing to go ahead and multiply, and I'm going to narrate it in relation to first, outer, inner, and last. So this is the first term of this binomial expression, x plus 3. And this is here, the second term, first term, and a second term. So we're going to multiply the two first terms, that's your first, in these two binomial expressions. So draw an arrow, and that represents your first term, okay? So x times x is going to give us x squared. Very good. Now, let's focus on the outer, okay? I'm going to move this down a little bit just so that we have some space. X times x again is x squared. Now, let's deal with the outer terms, x and 8. When we multiply x times that's x times a negative 8, if you will, then that is our outer, so I'm going to put an O right there. So x times negative 8, you're right, that's negative 8x. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. So we got our first, we got our outer. Now we're going to focus on these two inner, if you will, these two terms. We're going to call them inner. So we're going to multiply positive 3 times that positive x. We're going to call that I. So 3 times x, that's plus 3 times x. You're right. Now we're going to deal with multiplying the two last terms. I'll draw an arrow to refer to that right there, and I'll call that L for last. So a positive 3 times a negative 8, that's negative 24. Now, let's just review what we just did. X times x, that's first, that's x squared. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. That's the outer, these two outer terms, if you will. Now let's deal with, so you multiply x times x and then x times negative 8. Now let's go with 3 times x, that's your plus 3x, and then 3 times negative 8. That's negative 24. Very good. Now that we've successfully applied the FOIL method, now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. These two terms are like because they have the same variable and the same exponent. The exponent of the variable x is 1, and the exponent is 1 for that x. So let's bring this down, the x squared. We're not going to do anything to that. Negative 8x plus positive 3x. All right, that's like adding integers. Negative 8 plus positive 3 is negative 5. And don't forget to bring the x down. And then minus 24. So all of the terms are, we have 3 terms in this expression. They're all different. We can't simplify this anymore. This is our final answer. So the product of the quantity x plus 3 times the quantity of x minus 8 is equal to x squared minus 5x minus 24. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page in my video description below. On my Patreon page, you can get access to exclusive math lessons, study tips, live Q&A, and more. See you next time.